I had a message from our friend Angie on Facebook who said, I'm making these rum balls. Here's my Nana's recipe for rum balls. I've been making these, you know, in the lead up to Christmas, and we've been snacking on them. So this is the main ingredient. These are Wheat Bix or Weetabix or Vitabrits, depending on where you come from and which kind you're loyal to. Wheat flake biscuit that we eat as a cereal. If you don't come from a place where you have these, you're just going to have to find some similar sort of flaky wheat cereal, I guess. But we've got to crush up 8 of these into the bowl anyway. And I'll get a weight, so if you're using something else, you know roughly what sort of weight you need. Now Lenny thinks this recipe's too simple and not posh enough, so she's gone and researched some posh sort of rum ball recipe, which I think is a bit of an affront to Angie's Nana, really. And
no, it's not
recipe. The recipe loved and handed down through generations of Angie's family, and Lenny sort of went, oh yeah.
Look, I'll wait till later to have my word.
Okay, so there you go. That's 165 grams of Weetabix sort of crushed up stuff. Half a cup of desiccated coconut. When I was a kid, I hated desiccated coconut. I wouldn't have anything to do with it. 2 dessert spoons of cocoa. Now, what's a dessert spoon? How do you... Just tablespoon, hey?
Yeah, 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons of cocoa, or 2 dessert spoons.
Two level tablespoons, say. Actually, it smells quite good already.
Yeah. Now, I would use a dark rum. You could probably use white rum, but I just think it's going to lack a bit of character. 2 tablespoons of rum. I think it needs 3, don't you?
What's the etiquette on rum balls for kids? Is it allowed?
That's a very small amount of rum in a lot of dry substance. You're not going to be cooking the alcohol off, so there will be alcohol in the finished rum balls. But I think if it just quietens the kids down a bit over Christmas, then whatever. You know, it's not going to, like that amount, that's less than they get in, probably less alcohol than they get in cough medicine. Mix, add condensed milk and rum.
How much?
Well, it says a tin of condensed milk. That's a tin of condensed milk.
And how many mils is that tin, please? 397 grams.
So 400 gram tin. Now, we mix it up again. Well, that extra tablespoon of rum, I'm inhaling it. Yeah, you need to put in an extra tablespoon because some will just evaporate off while you're mixing.
So it's a kind of.
You're just over-analysing it too much.
One that
wet
shrinks.
Crumb.
Yeah, quite a wet crumb.
I'm going to flip it out into here just because we haven't got much room in our fridge.
So what, you're going to cover that and leave it in the fridge for an hour, yeah?
Yeah. Where in here am I going to put it? There's 2 up. There's a chicken. There's another chicken upside down. Right. You don't have to put lettuce on top of it. Just... Right. There you go. An hour or more if you want. A day.
Shut up.
Hey. Don't tell me to shut up.
Yeah, I think you may have just missed the end of an argument there. I have always found the condensed milk version of rum balls to be just a little bit too sweet for my taste. And I've never made any other kind, but I thought I would just try something a little bit different. Okay. And so I found this recipe from the interweb. This one calls for 5 cups of chocolate sprinkles, so clearly it's slightly too big a recipe. So I'm going to halve it. 6 ounces of dark chocolate melted.
So 6 ounces.
6 ounces is 170 grams. I'm just going to melt this chocolate over a pot of boiling water. You can use any kind of sort of plain biscuit, really. A graham cracker or a digestive biscuit or a Nice. 4 cups.
So Lenny measured a cup's worth of biscuits and then just put that many biscuits in times 4.
I'm getting out the Mixmaster thing so I can crush the pecans.
1 cup.
And I'm going to do a little bit extra for coating the balls in. Just be careful not to turn that into a meal or a paste. It still has to be reasonably chunky. 180 grams of butter melted.
Or 3/4 of a cup.
1/3 of a cup of good quality unsweetened cocoa. 1 cup of crushed pecans. This is where it gets slightly alarming. 3/4 of a cup of rum.
Oh.
As opposed to Waz's 2 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons. Right, that's nearly melted.
marzipan. Blech. Recipe said almond paste, but we don't know where to get almond paste.
Almond paste is just marzipan without as much sugar in it. So if you can get one of the marzipans with a less amount of sugar.
What do you need? 1/4 cup on that?
1/4 cup of sour cream also gets mixed in with the chocolate and the marzipan.
So why are you putting it in there now?
Without what? Having it fully mixed?
Yeah.
Because I don't want the chocolate to split, and it looks to me like it's starting to split.
I don't think it is. I think that's just what it looks like when you mix it with cream and marzipan. You know there's something about a pinch of salt here as well.
Oh yeah, salt. Just a pinch. It looks quite sloppy at this stage, but just don't forget that the chocolate is going to set to firm everything up.
This goes into the fridge, same as mine does.
An hour overnight, and then you can roll it.
Our rumbally stuff has actually been in the fridge for 2 days because we've been so busy we haven't had time to roll a rumball. I'm going to put some of my dislocated coconut on a cutting board. It smells more chocolatey than
rummy?
Rummy, yeah.
Maybe the rum has mellowed. I thought mine was too rummy, but maybe now it's going to be just
Feels
right.
a little on the dry side.
Is that a rumball, is it?
That's a rumball.
You're not going to make it round, you're just going to make it a knobble.
It's a rustic rumball.
Sure is.
There we go.
Okay, I'll help you.
I've never made them and I never used to eat them much, so I'm not really sure how they're supposed to turn out. There's my rumballs. We're going to do Lenny's now. What is all this? You didn't tell me that you were going to have little cups or anything.
It's just presentation.
What's that last of the pecans?
The rest of the crushed pecans, that's right. It softens a bit better than your one, with a bit of warmth. I've got chocolate sprinkles, I've got cocoa, and I've got the desiccated coconut as well. You need to apply a fair bit of pressure to get them to stick.
There you go, there's my humble rumbles and Lenny's faff-tastic wonder balls.
They weren't that much of a faff.
Which one are you going to taste
I
first?
think I'm going to taste one of your ones first.
The humble rumbles?
The humble rumble. I think the Wheat Bix is a good sort of medium for all that flavour. But the desiccated coconut makes it taste really sort of plasticky and chewy. It's not as sweet as I thought it would be. And I can't taste the rum, to be honest. I like the bitterness of the cocoa just to take away some of that sweetness of the rumble. So I'm going to try this one. I have to say, it's a much nicer, soft, gooey texture. The rum has really mellowed. I really like it, and I have to say, I'm sorry, I do prefer that one.
Okay,
sorry, Angie. It was more difficult to make, though.
Righto. I'm going to try one of mine, obviously, one of mine and Angie's. I mean, that's a classic rum ball, right? It is, isn't it? Blindfolded, you'd know you're eating a rum ball, you know? A little bit on the chewy side.
Yeah.
Not sure why. I need a spittoon or something. I've got to get through this now before I try one of them. Now for the faff-tastic wonder ball.
Which one are you going to take? The nutty one?
Yeah, they look nicest to me. This is more of a truffle than a rum ball because it's very chocolatey.
No, but a truffle has cream in, I believe. It's made with a ganache, and that doesn't have fresh cream in, so I'm not sure you could call it.
It does have cream in it. You put cream in it.
Did I?
Was it sour cream or something went in it?
Sour cream.
This has got to, I have to say, it's too much rum. It's too strong.
All right, fair cop. But what about the I think it's a nicer texture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's moister and
softer.
Doesn't stick to the inside of your gob, you know. Your ones, Lenny, are too much work for me, but they are nice. And as I said, I think it's more of a truffle than a rum ball.
Yeah, might be slightly too heavy on the rum.
Bit too rummy.